Okay, let's talk about something we all know we should do, but let's be honest, we often put it off. Data backup. But I want you to stop thinking of it as some boring technical chore. Today, we're going to look at it for what it really is, an absolutely essential survival skill for our digital lives. So let's get started.
Now, I'm serious. Just for a second, think about that. Your photos, your documents, all your projects, poof, gone. It's a terrifying thought, right? Well, that's exactly why we're here. We're going to build a solid plan to make sure that never, ever happens. So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at what we're up against, the real dangers. Then we'll talk about our best defense, the backup itself. We'll explore the three main ways to do it, compare them side by side, learn the golden rule the pros use, and then we'll finish with the one critical step that almost everyone misses.
All right, first things first. Before we can really appreciate the solution, we've got to understand the problem. What are we actually trying to protect ourselves from?
You know, it's not just one big, scary boogeyman. The threats are everywhere, and they're way more common than you think. Your hard drive could just die. Ransomware could lock everything up. You could accidentally drag that super important folder to the trash. Or it could be something totally out of your hands, like a server crash somewhere, or even a flood or a fire. The point is, data loss isn't really a matter of if it will happen, it's a matter of when.
So, with all that doom and gloom, how do we fight back? Well, it all comes down to one powerful idea, the backup. This is your digital shield.
And what is a backup, really? It's super simple, but it comes down to two things, and you need both. First, you create a copy of your data, and second, you store that copy in a totally separate location. And I mean separate. See, a copy on the same computer that just died isn't going to help you much, is it?
Okay, so we get what a backup is. Now let's dive into the how. There are three main ways to get it done, and each one has its own pros and cons. Understanding these is the key to picking the right strategy for you.
First up, we've got the full backup. This one is exactly what it sounds like. It's the most straightforward of the bunch. Just think of it like taking a photocopy of an entire book. Every single time you run the backup, you're copying every single page, or in our case, every single file from scratch.
And this is where we see our first big trade-off. The upside? Getting your data back is super easy and fast, because you have one neat, complete package. The downside? Man, it takes the longest to run, and it is an absolute hog when it comes to storage space.
Next, we have the incremental backup. This one's the efficiency expert. It's smart. It looks at your files and only copies the little bits and pieces that have changed since the last backup you ran, even if that last one was just another tiny incremental backup.
So the advantage is obvious. Your daily backups are lightning fast and barely take up any space. But, and this is a huge but, restoring is a pain. It's like reassembling a long chain. You need that first full backup and then every single incremental link after it, all in the right order. If just one of those links is missing or broken, the whole thing can fail.
And our third option is the differential backup. This is kind of the happy medium. It copies all the data that's changed, but its reference point is always the last full backup.
What does that mean for you? Well, the restore process is way simpler than incremental. You just need two things, the last full backup and the latest differential backup. That's it. The catch is that each differential file gets bigger and bigger every day until you finally run a new full backup and start the whole cycle over again.
Okay, that was a lot of info, I know. So let's just put all three of them on the table side by side. It'll make the core differences really pop. And here it is, the whole trade-off in one simple chart. Look at that. Full backups use a ton of storage and are slow, but they're fast to restore. Incremental backups are the exact opposite. Fast to back up, but slow to restore. And differential? Right in the middle. The big takeaway here is that you are always balancing the convenience of making the backup with the convenience of doing the restore. So now that we know the different types of backups, we need a real strategy. And lucky for us, there's a simple, powerful, industry-standard rule that's super easy to remember. It's called the 3-2-1 rule. Let's break it down. 3 copies of your data. That's your original, live data on your computer plus 2 separate backups. 2 different types of media. For example, maybe one backup is on an external hard drive and the other is up in the cloud. This protects you in case one type of storage fails. And finally, number 1, keep one copy off-site. This is your ultimate insurance policy against a disaster at your physical location, like a fire or a theft.
We are almost at the finish line. You've picked your backup type, you're following the 3-2-1 rule, you're totally safe, right? Well, there's one last thing. It's the step that so many people forget,
And you could argue it's the most important one of all.
Let that one sink in for a second. A backup that you've never actually tested? Well, that isn't really a plan, is it? It's a hope. It's a gamble. You absolutely have to test your restores every now and then to prove to yourself that you can actually get your files back when you need them most.
And that's really the question I want to leave you with. It's not enough to ask yourself, is my data backed up? The real question, the one that truly matters when everything hits the fan, is this: is it recoverable? Go find out.